Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Last Cloudia, and I know I'm super overdue for a video. I know it's been a week, I apologize, but yeah, there hasn't been as much to talk about in either game within the past week, so today we got some new stuff in Last Cloudia, and then of course we have some stuff coming this week with Brave Exvius, so not to worry, we've got stuff coming down the pipeline, but today we are going to talk about the new stuff that came to Last Cloudia today, or I guess it would be yesterday from the time of upload. Now, of course, you can see all of this in your news. We're going to do a review of the Steel Wall Maiden, of Maddine, okay, because she's pretty cool. But before we get to that, let's talk about the new events that we have in play. The first, of course, is the Tower of Trials. This is basically the same sort of event that we've had thus far, where you use your limited time orbs in order to clear different levels, and you get different bonuses to things. It is nice because you do get a brand new set of event rewards, most importantly towards the end of which is a unit ticket, so I highly recommend staying on top of this so that you can get yourself a character ticket, as well as a rainbow cluster. I don't know about you guys, but I burn through rainbow clusters because I work on a lot of trees. Some people don't really need them, but I could use more rainbow clusters, so this is a really nice set of rewards for me. And then in addition to that, they have unlocked an additional trading space where you can purchase more stuff with the currency. And I would imagine there's going to be a week to this event where you will get currency at an increased rate. But it is a super handy way to get a hold of a few more clusters, some more mother souls once you've got everything else that you want. It's just nice to have something productive to use orbs on, even if it is kind of the same flavor as the stuff that we've already had. Now, that being said, this stage, or this set of stages, is unique because you have a chance of receiving souls from a character that's in your party. So whatever party you take in there has a chance of dropping a soul, and you may see it. We're gonna run the last stage real quick of the hard version, but basically whatever party you take, their souls can drop from the final stage of this event. And it's pretty cool. Alright, now we're on the last stage of this one, and you'll see that you run into different story characters. I'm not 100% sure of the reason because I skip cutscenes. I'm that kind of guy. Sorry. Oh, Dark Nuzzle's mad. But you will fight different story characters, and whatever character you took into the event dungeon has a chance of dropping their soul. Oh, come on. I was gonna finish you off, Melza. Stop that. I forgot my Robin is currently built for experience training and not for damage, so it may look like I'm getting wrecked, but that's not reality. Boom. Destroyed. Alright, let's see if this one drops a soul. Anyways, it's pretty cool. It's like any of the other dungeons we've done before. Very easy to auto. Very easy to maintain and get some rewards for it. So I recommend staying on top of it. It's not a big deal to do. And is that a little green chest I see at the end? Aha! See, this is very nice to do. So I recommend it for that. So if you have a particular unit you want souls for, you can have them solo it, and you might get more of their souls. Or you can take a party of units, all of whom you'd be happy to get more souls for. And this also applies for units that you may not normally be able to get souls for, such as the Secret of Mana units, as well as limited units like Lancevale or Eliza. So any of those characters you feel like getting some souls for, go ahead and pop them in there. Very easy to clear, no problem, and it's not bad. And I don't mind the rewards from it. At the same time of this event, we also have a new Beast Invasion set coming in. I think some of these are new stages. I think some of them are also rerun stages. I can't remember. I just have to check every day. Like Skeleton, I had not done yet. But they're worth clearing once because you can get a small pile of crystals, as well as some Zell and some experience potions and stuff like that. So it's worth clearing once each. So that's it as far as stuff to actually do. There's no new story or anything, but that does leave us with our new character and new arc. And unfortunately, I don't have any friends that have her up yet, but I've done some reading up of my own, so hopefully I can explain Maddine to you as well as the final oath, okay? Maddine serves as kind of a mage slash tank character, so if you're super into the idea of a paladin or some sort of magic knight sort of thing, I mean, she's right up your alley. We're all thinking it, okay? I'm just gonna say it. She's basically the Kmart brand Saber of Red, all right? I don't even watch anime, and I know who Saber of Red is. So, for you guys who want that sort of vibe in your party, there's nobody better than Maddine. Now, the way that she works is she has a lot of tank skills that are great for bringing enemies together and keeping them under control, which is super, super handy. Her S1 is kind of it's like a forward stab sort of thing. It's good for juggling and pushing enemies back. It's not that huge of a deal, but it's her nice little S1. Her S2 is a larger cyclone ability, so it's super handy to throw enemies up into the air if you have people that you're trying to trigger sky high for, other things like that. Super handy for controlling large groups of enemies, especially because the hitbox for it is very, very large. Now, her S3 ability is probably my favorite. I definitely like this one the most because it's a little vortex wave. She stabs the ground and then sucks in all nearby enemies, making it easier to then follow up with her S2 ability and sweep them away in a cyclone. So super handy for controlling enemies. She is very tanky as a character. You can build her as a hybrid earth mage slash, tank, and you can kind of choose, do I want her to be a better tank or do I want her to be a better mage? You can kind of operate on a sliding scale there. Her special attack is one I unfortunately don't have any visuals of, but it is a very strong earth combo attack with a chance to reduce enemy defense. So that one is super handy to use as well for controlling enemies, and being able to reduce defense on an ability is super nice because then you don't have to use any MP to cast Drain or Giga Drain. You can just pop her special, which is called Valkyrie Glide, and just break a lot of defense all over the place. So it's handy. It is worth keeping in mind that she is earth locked. Unless you have, non-elemental or other elemental weapons equipped, but she does favor the earth element, so you do want to use her in that manner, and just be aware of it in case you go up against something that is resistant or immune to earth damage. You may want to bring weak or something else like that can allow you to damage them if they are fully immune. But that being said, she is really adept with earth weapons. She also has a passive that makes it so that her magic does, I think she gets an intelligence boost for equipping a spear. And I wish I had one available to play with so that I could give you a full review of her skills. But as an overall, basically all you really need to know is that she is a tank mage hybrid sort of dealio, and she is pretty solid at both roles. She can be very tanky. If I were to pull her, I would definitely use her more as a tank character because that's what my party needs, and because her crowd control skills are very, very good. Now, for me, the more interesting thing, I think, is the arcs. For me, I tend to focus on arcs because they're more important than the units themselves. They determine how powerful the units you already have can become. And the final oath is no exception. It's a good arc, but not the best arc. I would put it probably mid-tier because it does have some very handy abilities, but not necessarily ones that will change the game. Not quite like, Skyship or Pirate Ship or some of those other arcs. So the arc attribute for this one says, when a spear is equipped, it grants a chance of reducing defense and mind and dealing damage, and earth magic cost -2 MP, and Stonewall auto casts at battle start. So this is basically the most ideal arc to have equipped on Maddine when you go into battle because it does bolster her. It gives a chance of reducing defense in mind because she usually uses a spear, and it reduces earth magic MP cost, and Stonewall, helps her tank. So this is super handy if you do plan on using her as your tank mage. I would not say it's a must pull for that reason, but definitely something that you can keep in mind. As far as the unit skills go, one of the main reasons I would want this arc is because it has Pose of Glory. This is basically a smaller version of Pirate's Feast in its effect. It helps bolsters your ability to keep your SCT skills full. And the way that it works, anybody who has Randy or Phantom Thief Robin, you are already familiar with the skill, but whenever you defeat an enemy with a physical attack, you recover some SCT, and that is awesome. Getting that for free on a character or getting it at a low SC cost through this arc is super handy, because Pirate's Feast from the Pirate Ship arc is super expensive in terms of SC. It costs 10 if I remember right. I don't remember the cost for Pose of Glory, but if it's like the other poses, it's only going to be like 2 or 3 SC. So a really great way to increase your SCT recharge rate in battle on the cheaps. Now, she also has Steel Guard, which reinforces her guard ability, or any tank, sorry. This is an arc after all. And it reduces the damage you take when you guard. Guard Charge makes it so that whenever you guard, you increase your SCT by a little bit, enabling you to use your SCT skills more frequently. So that is exceptionally handy on a tank. Equip Spear is handy if you need someone to equip spears. I would want that sort of thing on Ray, because Ray has kind of trash equipment options, but you know, not a lot of people are rolling Ray. But if you have someone you want to throw a spear on and they can't, this is the way that you do it. Grand Protection, I think, is one of the better abilities, because it's going to help you survive harder fights if and when those come to the game. Grand Protection is a spell that you cast on your entire party that reduces physical damage taken by 20%. And you can, if I remember correctly, already learn this skill from another arc, so it's not must pull for this reason. You could get this skill. I wish I could remember off the top of my head what the other arc was, because I already have this skill. But you don't have to get it for this. It's kind of a byproduct of getting the level 10 skill for the Final Oath, which is Earth High Boost. And this is great if you're trying to build someone into an Earth Mage, because you absolutely want that Earth High Boost. It does have a significant impact on your damage output. So if you're looking to build somebody into a Grand Cross Earth caster or whatever, or you're trying to bolster your Papoya's Earth damage or whatever it be, that's going to be a really handy skill for that. Now, in addition to the Final Oath, we also have Moonlit Murder, which has been added to the game officially. Previously, you may remember it was available in the token-only shop. I think, which banner was that on? I forgot. It was a minute ago. But this one is really handy, because it's got a lot of stuff in it. First of all, the arc attribute increases your physical damage against blinded enemies by 50%. So if you have somebody with the blind spell, or if they have blind research equipped as a passive, you can be blinding enemies and just be doing a crap load of bonus damage. So super cool there. It also has a probability of immediately defeating a fainted enemy, and fainting is kind of like breaking, only I don't think it has like a visible bar. So if you break an enemy, they have a chance of immediately just dying. Or if you faint an enemy, sorry, not break them. And it excludes bosses and the arena, so I'm not familiar enough with the game to be able to say that there's a certain case where this comes in handy. I don't see an immediate use for it. And then the other one is that physical attacks have a low probability of immediately breaking bosses. This can be super handy on someone with high hit count, auto attacks and stuff like that, or tanks. If you're trying to break down a boss real fast and do that bonus damage, this is the way to do it. As far as unit skills go, Darkness inflicts blindness. It's cool. It's not that cool. You can use it. I haven't got much use out of it because we don't have any hard content to try it against yet. But for general farming, you don't care about that. Backstab is really, really nice. It increases damage from behind by 30%, so I recommend this on most physical damage dealers because there's going to be a lot of opportunities to sneak behind your opponents and deal an extra 30% damage. Flying Shadow is a nice skill. I don't think it's that necessary, but it increases your movement speed when you're at max HP. So handy if you have the extra SC, but totally skippable if you don't. Critical up 2 is probably the better skill in this, and I believe there is another source of critical up 2, so if you don't get it from here, not a huge deal. But critical is super handy for both mages and for physical damage dealers, and I'll get into that. I've been planning a mage build video, but every time I get partway through prepping it, I learn something new about mage builds that I didn't know. So it's been changing a lot, and I think I've about got it to where I need it to be in terms of the information to make that. But anyways, critical up 2 is nice. The thing that they have changed with this, the special boost, for anybody who had Moonlit Murder before, you'll notice that the description has now changed to what it should be. It used to just say that skills did an extra 50% damage, and that was not accurate at all. What it actually does is it increases your killer and slayer types by another 50%. So if you are going against a particular type of opponent and you have a killer or slayer equipped, equipping special boost will improve that benefit even further. And I think the person who's the most obvious to use this is Randy, because he has so many innate killers and slayers. However, you can use this on anybody because you can teach slayers and killers to just about anybody. So this is actually a really good thing to do if you're doing a particular build for a particular kind of boss. So overall, as far as our arcs go, this is one of the better ones. It offers a lot in it, and it's super handy for physical damage dealers. Does it make this chase worthy? I don't particularly think so. As far as whether or not the banner on the whole is chase-worthy, it is your standard gacha banner, which means you have a 1/2 of 1% chance of pulling the final oath with any given pull, and a 1/2 of 1% chance of pulling Maddine on any one pull. So your odds are not super high, but if you really like this character or you feel like you would benefit from this arc a lot, definitely not a bad character and not a bad arc to go for. Moonlit Murder I would not pull for simply because you'll eventually get it. And this game gives you so much stuff to grind out that getting ahead and, you know, being at the point where you have nothing to work on except Moonlit Murder, that's not a thing. You'll get it when you pull for other things. So in my opinion, if you really like Maddine, go for it. I'm sure you'll find a lot of use out of her. She is a very good unit. You can build her to be tank or mage, which provides some awesome versatility. And if along the way you happen to get the final oath, then that is awesome as well. Oh, and a thing I forgot to mention about the final oath is that the Ethereon reward for it is an earth spear, which is super handy to use on Maddine herself. You can, of course, use it on anybody else, but as far as I'm aware, the only person who really prefers to use it is Maddine. So I think that just about covers it as far as the new stuff and the new banner and the new character and all that stuff. Let me know if you have any questions about this down in the comments below, and I'll see everybody in the next video.